Cyprus holds Europe's oldest named wine, the Mediterranean's clearest waters, and a capital city divided by a UN buffer zone. This 5-day itinerary reveals how to experience all three while avoiding the crowds and saving over €100 on your trip. Let's get straight into planning your perfect 5 days in Cyprus. Day 1, coastal charm and culinary delights in Larnaca. Larnaca greets you with palm-lined beaches and Byzantine treasures within minutes of each other. Drop your bags at the centrally located Amorgos Boutique Hotel, €70, and you'll be strategically positioned to experience both. Most visitors rush through Larnaca in half a day, missing the flamingo-filled salt lakes and authentic tavernas where locals gather each evening. Start at the Church of St. Lazarus, just a 5-minute walk from your hotel in the heart of Old Town. Unlike other Byzantine churches in Cyprus, this one houses the tomb of Lazarus himself, the man the Bible claims Jesus raised from the dead. Cool stone beneath your feet, the scent of ancient incense in the air, this 9th century church surrounds you with gilded icons. Sections of the iconostasis were replated with gold in the 1970s that catch the morning light. The €2 entry fee gives you access to both the ornate main sanctuary and the crypt below, where few tourists venture. Next, head to Larnaca, Salt Lake, a 15-minute taxi ride, €10 to €15, or local bus trip, €1.5 from the church. What makes this lake extraordinary is its seasonal transformation. A normal lake in summer becomes home to thousands of pink flamingos from November to March, creating one of Europe's most accessible flamingo viewing spots. The birds feed on the lake's unique brine shrimp, which give them their distinctive pink coloration. Visit before 10 a.m. when the flamingos are most active and the light is ideal for photographs. For lunch, return to the coast, a 10-minute ride back toward Flamingo-filled Beach Promenade. While most tourists crowd into generic international restaurants, Militsi's restaurant stands out for its 40-year family tradition of serving authentic Cypriot meze. Their specialty, talaturi, a cooling yogurt and cucumber dip made with locally sourced herbs, especially dried mint, reflecting the flavors of the Larnaca region and the family's own recipe. In the afternoon, make your way to Hala Sultan Teke, a mosque situated on the edge of the Salt Lake, about 5 kilometers from the city center, another 15-minute ride. What's remarkable about this mosque is its significance. It's the 4th most important site in Islam, containing the tomb of Haram, the Prophet Muhammad's aunt. While most Islamic sites restrict entry, this peaceful complex welcomes respectful visitors of all faiths, offering a rare glimpse into Islamic heritage in an overwhelmingly Christian country. When visiting Hala Sultan Teke, dress modestly. Cover shoulders and knees. Scarves are usually available to borrow at the entrance if needed. Also, mornings often offer softer light for photos across the Salt Lake. As evening approaches, return to Secluded Beach Promenade, just 15 minutes from Hala Sultan Teke. While daytime visitors often leave by sunset, the promenade transforms as locals emerge for their evening ritual of Volta, a leisurely stroll along the palm-lined walkway. Join them before heading to dinner at Tu Cafe Tis Chrysanthis, a beloved local spot tucked away just a few blocks from the seafront. Here, the menu changes daily based on what's fresh at the market. But you can expect home-style Cypriot classics like moussaka, oven-baked lamb, and seasonal vegetable dishes, all served in a cozy, family-run setting. Dinner with local wine costs around €20 per person, and on weekends you might catch impromptu live music or poetry readings, a favorite among Larnaca's creative crowd. Tomorrow, you'll discover why locals call Cape Greco the edge of paradise, where sea caves carved by centuries of waves create the most photographable swimming spots in the Mediterranean. But timing is everything. Arrive just 30 minutes too late and you'll share those crystal waters with dozens of tour boats instead of having them all to yourself. Day 2, Cape Greco and the vibrant East Coast. Start at the Cape Greco National Forest Park entrance, €2 parking, and lace up for the Aphrodite Trail. This 2-hour loop takes you along cliff edges where the Mediterranean stretches endlessly before you. Here you'll find sea caves carved into the limestone below that create gorgeous natural frames for photos. The morning light catches the water, turning it from turquoise to sapphire as you hike. Bring water and sunscreen, there's virtually no shade on this exposed trail. By midday, head to Ayia Napa Harbor, just 15 minutes from the trail's end. While most visitors book afternoon boat tours, the savvy move is joining the first departure to the Blue Lagoon, typically 10:30 a.m., though some operators offer earlier 9 a.m. tours. The €25 boat trip takes you directly to sea caves that most land-based visitors never reach. As you approach the famous arched cave, the boat engine quiets and you hear only water lapping against limestone. Swimming in the Blue Lagoon feels like floating in liquid crystal. The water clarity here surpasses even Greece's famous spots, with visibility often exceeding 20 meters. After your boat tour returns around 1 p.m., drive 10 minutes north to Fig Tree Bay in Protaras. While nearby Konos Beach draws crowds for its Instagram fame, Fig Tree Bay offers equally beautiful waters with better facilities and more space. Rent a sunbed and umbrella, €15 on the golden sand, and watch the afternoon unfold. Whether it's with water sports or simply relaxing with a cold drink from the beachside cafes. As the afternoon sun begins to soften, take a short walk along the coastal path that connects Fig Tree Bay to smaller hidden coves. The eastern coastline features a series of intimate beaches separated by rocky outcrops, each one offering a different perspective on the Mediterranean's shifting blue palette. The path is well maintained and takes about 30 minutes to reach Luma Beach, a smaller, less visited spot where locals often gather. For dinner, drive 10 minutes back to Ayia Napa Harbor, where fishing boats return with the day's catch. While tourists typically flock to the flashy restaurants in the town center, the harbor area offers more authentic seafood tavernas, where fishermen deliver their catch directly to the kitchen. At Gliki Nero Fish Tavern, right on the waterfront, the day's specials depend entirely on what was caught that morning. Order the grilled octopus, €25, tenderized the traditional way by beating it against the rocks and then grilled over open flames with nothing but olive oil, lemon, and oregano. The flavor is unlike any seafood you'll find in tourist-oriented restaurants. Consider staying overnight at the Sunrise Pearl Hotel and Spa in Protaras, €120 for one of Cyprus's most spectacular natural shows, the sunrise over Fig Tree Bay. Set your alarm for 30 minutes before official sunrise time and walk down to the beach. As first light breaks over the Mediterranean, the water transforms through shades of purple, pink, and gold before settling into its daytime blue. Tomorrow takes you to Nicosia, the world's last divided capital where a UN buffer zone cuts through the city center. You'll walk across the Green Line checkpoint between Greek and Turkish Cyprus, experiencing how a single street can separate two economies, languages, and architectural styles. Day 3, a tale of two cultures in Nicosia. Nicosia is Europe's last divided capital, the only place where a UN buffer zone cuts through a city center, with soldiers and checkpoints separating Greek and Turkish Cyprus. Cross the Ledra street checkpoint with your passport, and within 20 steps, everything changes. The currency, language, architecture, and even the coffee. Unprepared visitors waste hours confused by border procedures or miss half the city entirely. Today, you'll experience both sides efficiently, seeing how centuries of shared history created two distinct worlds within ancient Venetian walls. While you might be tempted to drive to Nicosia, walking is your best strategy once there. The old city's narrow streets and limited parking make driving frustrating, but more importantly, your rental car insurance from the south won't cover you in the north. If you drive across at checkpoints like Agios Domitios, you'll need to purchase separate temporary insurance at the border, €20 to €30 for one day. Instead, park in a garage near the southern Old Town, approximately €10 for the day, and explore both sides on foot. The entire walled city is only 1.5 kilometers across, and the key attractions are within a 15-minute walk of each other. Start your morning on the Greek Cypriot side at the Leventis Municipal Museum, free entry, just a 10-minute walk from most central hotels. This museum occupies a beautifully restored mansion where cool marble floors and traditional wooden balconies frame exhibits spanning a history of 5,000 years. Spend around 45 minutes here to understand why this city has been contested by empires for centuries. Important context before experiencing the division firsthand. By mid-morning, walk 5 minutes to the Ledra Street checkpoint. The contrast is immediate. Modern shops and cafes suddenly give way to sandbags, watchtowers, and UN soldiers in blue berets. Have your passport ready. The crossing takes just 2 minutes if you're prepared, while unprepared tourists often create lines as they search for documentation. As you step across the buffer zone, notice how the pavement changes. Street signs switch from Greek to Turkish, and even the air smells different. Spices from kebab stands replace the aroma of Greek coffee. By early afternoon, walk 7 minutes to Selimiye Mosque, the most striking example of Nicosia's layered history. What makes this building extraordinary is its transformation. Originally, the Gothic Cathedral of St. Sophia, built by French crusaders in the 13th century, it became a mosque when the Ottomans conquered Cyprus in 1570. Look up at the soaring Gothic arches now adorned with Arabic calligraphy, and notice how prayer rugs cover medieval stone floors once walked by Christian knights. Remove your shoes at the entrance and, if female, borrow a headscarf available at the door. The interior's cool air offers welcome relief from that midday heat. As afternoon transitions to evening, cross back to the Greek side via the same Ledra Street checkpoint. The southern side becomes more animated as evening approaches, with locals emerging for their evening rituals. For dinner, walk 5 minutes from the checkpoint to Laiki Yetonia, a restored neighborhood of narrow stone-paved streets. Here, tavernas serve authentic meze, little delicacies similar to tapas, except the more abundant meze is intended to make up the entire meal. At To Anama Taverna, order the full meze experience, €18 per person, and small plates will continue arriving until you signal enough. Grilled halloumi, fresh tzatziki, tender souvlaki, and at least a dozen other specialties, each made with local ingredients prepared according to recipes passed through generations. Here's a quick insider tip. Stay at the Classic Hotel, €85, located just 3 minutes from the Ledra Street checkpoint. This strategic location saves you valuable time crossing between sides. For a powerful perspective few tourists experience, walk along the buffer zone near Paphos Gate, where abandoned buildings stand frozen in time since the 1974 division. Bullet holes still mark walls and faded shop signs advertise businesses long closed, a sobering reminder of the human cost behind political divisions. Tomorrow you'll discover why archaeologists consider Kourion more impressive than many sites in Greece. Ancient Roman mosaics preserved in perfect condition, with the Mediterranean Sea providing a backdrop no museum could match. You'll also taste wine from the world's oldest named wine region, produced using methods unchanged since the time of the Crusader Knights. Day 4, ancient ruins and wine routes in Limassol and Kourion. In a single day in Limassol, you can stand where ancient Romans once applauded performances, with the Mediterranean stretching below you. Then sip Europe's oldest named wine in medieval villages where it's been produced for 800 years. The challenge? Most tourists rush through Kourion's spectacular ruins to reach Limassol by lunch, missing the best photo opportunities when the site is bathed in golden morning light. Today's carefully timed route lets you experience both the ancient world and Cyprus's unique wine heritage without feeling rushed. Begin with an hour's drive west from Nicosia, arriving at Limassol's Old Town by 9 a.m. Head directly to Limassol Castle, a medieval fortress just a 5-minute walk from the main parking areas. The castle witnessed a pivotal, unique moment in European history, the wedding of Richard the Lionheart during the Third Crusade. Now housing the Cyprus Medieval Museum, €4.5, its thick stone walls keep the interior cool even as the day warms up. Spend about 45 minutes exploring the exhibits that connect Cyprus to the broader medieval world. Afterwards, walk 3 minutes to nearby Siripolu Square for a quick morning coffee. This plaza transforms completely between day and night. Peaceful in the morning, but the center of Limassol's nightlife after dark. Local office workers gather at the traditional kafeinia, coffee houses, where Greek coffee is prepared in small copper pots called briki, creating a rich foam called kaimaki on top. Take 20 minutes to absorb the atmosphere before heading towards the day's highlight. By 10:30 a.m., drive 20 minutes west to the ancient city of Kourion, timing your arrival before the tour buses appear midday. This archaeological site delivers perfectly preserved Roman ruins with a spectacular natural backdrop. As you walk through the entrance, €4.5, the first view of the amphitheater with the Mediterranean stretching endlessly below may stop you in your tracks. Unlike similar theaters elsewhere, Kourion's setting on a coastal cliff creates a natural backdrop no set designer could match. Spend time in the House of Achilles and House of the Gladiators, where intricate mosaic floors have survived 2,000 years in remarkable condition. The tiles beneath your feet depict mythological scenes in such detail you can distinguish individual expressions on the faces. Morning light streams through the ancient columns, creating dramatic shadows across the mosaics that disappear underfoot by midday when most tour groups arrive. After exploring Kourion for about 2 hours, drive 30 minutes inland toward the Troodos foothills to begin the Commandaria Wine Route. This scenic drive connects 14 villages that produce Commandaria, a sweet amber wine whose name is mentioned in texts dating back to 800 BCE. The winding road climbs back through terraced vineyards where the Xini Steri and Mavro grapes grow in Cyprus's mineral-rich, volcanic soil. Stop at Carceras Winery, a small family operation 45 minutes from Kourion. Unlike commercial wineries, here the owner often conducts tastings personally, explaining how Commandaria grapes are partially dried in the sun before pressing, a technique unchanged since the Crusades. The resulting wine coats your tongue with flavors of honey, dried apricots, and nuts, developing complexity through oxidation rather than barrel aging. Tasting costs €10, but are often complimentary if you purchase a bottle, 15 to 25 euros. As afternoon transitions to evening, drive 20 minutes further to Omodos, the most picturesque village on the wine route. The village square centers around the Holy Cross Monastery, its stone walls housing a piece of the rope allegedly used to tie Christ to the cross. But Omodos offers more than religious history. Its narrow cobbled streets lined with stone houses, restaurants, and vendors are rich for exploring. An ideal way to spend your evening before hunger calls. For dinner, choose a taverna on the village square where tables spill outdoors in good weather. Order cleftico, slow-roasted lamb, or stifado, beef stew. Dishes that require hours of preparation and pair perfectly with the local red wines. A full dinner with wine costs around 25 euros per person, with the added value of watching village life unfold around you as elderly locals gather for their evening conversations on stone benches nearby. For accommodation that enhances today's theme, stay at Capsaliana Village Hotel, 95 euros, housed in a converted 18th century olive mill. The thick stone walls keep rooms naturally cool, and the property preserves original olive presses as decorative features. Tomorrow takes you to Cyprus's wildest region, the Akamas Peninsula, where rugged coastal tracks lead to beaches accessible only by boat or 4x4. You'll discover why the Blue Lagoon earned its name, with water so clear it seems to glow from within, and why timing is crucial if you want this natural wonder all to yourself. Day 5, rugged beauty and adventure in the Akamas Peninsula. The Akamas Peninsula reveals a Cyprus most visitors never experience, where unpaved tracks lead to empty beaches, crystal clear lagoons, and protected turtle nesting grounds. Choose the wrong approach and you'll be limited to crowded edges while missing the peninsula's wild heart. Choose the right one and you'll swim in waters so clear they appear supernatural with no one else in sight. Your final day explores this undeveloped national park, where the right timing and transportation decisions make all the difference. Begin with a 90-minute drive west from Limassol to the small fishing town of Lachi, your gateway to Akamas. Arrive by 8:30 a.m. to beat both the heat and crowds. This peninsula presents an immediate decision: how to access its interior. The track to the Blue Lagoon requires a 4x4 vehicle, not just an SUV, but one with true off-road capability. The path clings to cliffside edges without guardrails, loose rocks and deep ruts that have stranded many rental cars. If you're comfortable with challenging driving, rent a 4x4 Jeep from operators in Lachi, 60 euros for the day. For most visitors, however, the smarter option is the Aphrodite Safari bus tour, 15 euros per person, departing at 9 a.m. from Lachi Harbor. These modified 4x4 vehicles handle the difficult terrain while you enjoy the scenery, and their early departure means you'll reach key sites before the boat tours arrive. If you choose to drive, follow their vehicles at a distance. They know exactly where the worst sections are and which paths to avoid. For the best experience at the Blue Lagoon, timing is everything. By 11 a.m., dozens of boats from Paphos and Lachi converge here, transforming the tranquil cove into a floating party. But arrive before 10 a.m. and you might have this extraordinary spot to yourself. The lagoon earned its name naturally. The watercolor shifts between electric blue and turquoise depending on the light, with visibility often exceeding 30 meters. The unusual clarity comes from the white sand bottom reflecting sunlight back through the water, creating an almost otherworldly glow. If you've taken the land route, spend about an hour at the Blue Lagoon before the boats arrive. For those on boat tours, most operators allow 30 to 45 minutes for swimming and snorkeling. The water temperature remains pleasant even in spring and fall, typically 5 to 7 degrees warmer than other Mediterranean spots due to the sheltered cove location. After experiencing the Blue Lagoon, your next destination depends on the season. From May through August, Lara Beach becomes one of the Mediterranean's most important turtle nesting sites for endangered green and loggerhead turtles. The beach's protected status means limited development. No sunbeds, umbrellas, or facilities. An untouched environment, unlike Cyprus's developed beaches. If visiting during nesting season, approach Lara Beach with extreme care. Stay on marked paths, maintain distance from any marked nests, and never use bright lights if visiting near sunset. Artificial light disorients hatchlings, drawing them away from the sea. The Aphrodite Beach Hotel near Lachi, €85, works directly with conservation groups and can arrange guided turtle watching with trained naturalists during hatching periods, the only way to responsibly witness this remarkable natural event. Seeing tiny hatchlings make their journey to the sea is an experience that stays with you long after leaving Cyprus. By early afternoon, escape the midday heat with a visit to Avakas Gorge, a 30-minute drive from Lara Beach. This dramatic limestone canyon offers a completely different ecosystem from the coastal areas you've explored. As you step within the gorge's towering walls, the temperature drops instantly. Water trickles over smooth stones as sunlight filters through the narrow opening 100 meters above you. The path requires occasional stream crossings, so wear shoes you don't mind getting wet. The gorge narrows to just 3 meters wide at points, with walls rising 30 meters on either side, creating a cathedral-like atmosphere. Allow 2 hours for the hike. Return to Lachi Harbor by sunset when fishing boats arrive with the day's catch. At Faros Restaurant, select your fish directly from the display, priced by weight, approximately €30 per person with sides, and watch as it's grilled with nothing more than olive oil, lemon, and herbs. Request a table at the water's edge for unobstructed sunset views over the peninsula you've spent the day exploring. After dinner, check into the Anasa Hotel, €150, just 10 minutes from Lachi. This luxury property sits on a hillside overlooking the coast you've explored today, where you can take a moment to reflect on your Cyprus journey. The hotel's traditional Cypriot architecture, whitewashed walls, terracotta tiles, and wooden shutters blends seamlessly with its natural surroundings. Request a sea view room to wake up to panoramic Mediterranean vistas on your final morning. The hotel's spacious bathrooms with deep soaking tubs provide welcome relief for muscles tired from hiking the gorge, while the outdoor infinity pool offers one last chance to swim while watching the stars appear over the peninsula. For your departure, Paphos International Airport lies about an hour's drive south from the Anasa Hotel, making for a convenient return of your rental car. If your flight leaves in the afternoon or evening, consider a morning stop at the Baths of Aphrodite on your way, a natural grotto where legend claims the goddess of love bathed, located just 5 minutes from the hotel. The short walking path to the grotto takes you through a botanical garden showcasing Cyprus's native plants, providing a fitting final experience of the island's natural beauty before departure. This final day in the Akamas Peninsula completes your journey through Cyprus's remarkable diversity. From Byzantine churches and divided capitals to ancient theaters, medieval wine villages, and untouched natural landscapes. By following this carefully timed itinerary, you've experienced the island's highlights while avoiding the crowds and saving over €100 compared to standard tourist approaches. Have you visited Cyprus or are planning to go soon? Drop a comment below sharing which day of this itinerary you're most excited about. Your feedback helps us craft even better guides for future destinations. Our library of detailed itinerary videos continues to grow each week. Check out our channel for more expertly produced travel guides, all designed with the same insider knowledge and attention to detail you've seen in this Cyprus itinerary.